Students often ask what this class is about. Why do we study the humanities? In this series, we are going to look at some of the reasons for studying the humanities. Specifically, in this short video, we will cover two things. The first is to define humanities and discuss its purpose, and the second is to define and discuss the term value. As we begin to look at the humanities as a field of study, it is important for us to have a basic understanding of core concepts. These core concepts will be vital to our being able to accurately evaluate and discuss art. Let's start with our definition of humanities. The definition as we know it today is much different than it was historically. In the past, the humanities was specifically the study of any subject matter that originated with or was reflective of human creativity. Humanities was viewed as separate from anything related to God. This means that topics such as mathematics, literature, painting, sculpture, architecture, philosophy, and the hard sciences, such as physical science and zoology, all fell under the category of the humanities. Any subjects related to religion or theology fell under the category of divinity and were viewed as separate from the humanities. Today, our current culture and educational system views the humanities as the study of the arts, some of the social sciences, such as philosophy, and sometimes foreign language. Mathematics and any of the sciences are now excluded. And religion and divinity? Well, now they are sometimes included because much of the art of Western Europe for a significant period of time was largely influenced by Christianity. But that's a conversation for another lesson. Now that we know what the humanities are, let's take a quick look at one of the core questions. Why do we study the humanities? The purpose of humanities is to help us develop our sensitivity to values. Basically, we are studying it to figure out what is important to us as humans. We can look at artists individually or collectively. For example, we might study the work of one artist, such as Claude Monet, and see if we can figure out what's important to them, or what their message to us might be. Or we can also look at multiple artists together, like the Impressionists, and by studying their art collectively, we can determine why they were creating the kinds of art that they were and what effect their work had on history. What did these artists value collectively? Now that we have established that we study the humanities to have a better understanding of what values a particular artist or society view as important, let's take a closer look at the definition of value. Simply put, in the world of humanities, value is any object or event that we care about or that has significance to us as a society. Now note here that I have said the word event. What I mean by this is something like a dance or open mic performance. These are not physical, tangible items like a painting or a sculpture, so we call them events. So why do we need to understand values? It's a good question. As we look at pieces of art, we study it as a way to help us clarify or reveal the values of a particular time in history. As I mentioned before, we might look at a group of artists like the Impressionists and wonder why they were making art that was so different from the artists that came before them. Asking questions and thinking about values has importance. Essentially, as we deepen our understanding of the arts, we deepen our understanding of values. So, the more we study art and the humanities, the more we can understand the values of a particular culture or artist.